Hello, and welcome to Sound of Hope News. I'm Liam O'Neill, and here are your June 3rd China briefs. COVID lockdowns have sparked protests in Beijing, and police are responding with force. Conflicting statements have many wondering about the United States' stance on Taiwan. Just how far will it go to defend the island? And a recent poll shows that many countries would cut ties with China if the CCP invades Taiwan. Over a month of strict lockdown in the suburb of Beijing erupted in a 1,000-person protest that resulted in scores of police eventually resorting to hitting and arresting people. Meanwhile, in the heart of Beijing, tanks were filmed driving on the streets. As the anniversary of the June 4th Tiananmen Square massacre approaches, the atmosphere in Beijing is tense. Commute, commute, go to work, go to work. These were some of the chants heard in the Yanjiao city protest. One of the onlookers complained that under the heavy lockdown, no one can survive. We can't pay the mortgage when we have no salary. Videos showed sometimes a dozen policemen beating a single man, while others threatened to take cell phones away. I'm a legal citizen and I have the right to look at law enforcement. One man is heard shouting as he runs from police. Meanwhile, the tanks driving on the streets were eerily similar to the Tank Man image captured 33 years ago, the morning after the June 4th massacre. The tanks could have been transported by truck or rail, someone commented. This scene looks like we are at war. On Monday, Beijing sent 30 warplanes into Taiwan's air defense zone. The Chinese military said in a statement that the Combat Readiness Patrol was a necessary action against collusion between Washington and Taipei. The incident took place just as United States Senator Tammy Duckworth was visiting the island nation and restated the United States' support for Taiwan. According to Voice of America, Duckworth met with Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen and emphasized the close economic, political, and security ties between Taipei and Washington. The Chinese government strongly objects to any official contact with Taiwan. A recent statement read, "The United States has frequently made moves on the Taiwan issue, instigating support for Taiwan independence forces, which will push Taiwan into a dangerous situation." The Russian invasion of Ukraine has brought a China invasion of Taiwan into the world's focus. Taiwan maintains that only its people have the right to decide the island's future. Washington has consistently maintained strong bipartisan support for Taiwan with arms sales and political assistance. On May 23rd, during Joe Biden's first presidential trip to Asia, he said that the United States would be willing to use force to defend Taiwan against the Chinese invasion, even though he assumes such a move will not happen and, quote, will not be attempted. But many experts disagree, believing that the CCP has long considered a military takeover. Hengzu Xie, an assistant research fellow at Taipei's Institute for National Defense and Security Research, said that Biden's statement may have confirmed that China needs to be ready for armed conflict with the United States. He said, quote, China has continued to develop its naval capabilities in the Western Pacific. Its purpose is mainly to target the United States military. Su Ziyun, an associate researcher at the same Taipei Institute, believes as well that Biden's remarks should work to, quote, deter China's military adventurism. In April 2021, Biden and Yoshihide Suga, Japan's former prime minister, released a joint statement that included a call for peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. The phrase has appeared in several multilateral statements since, including among the G7 and the European Union, and that is according to Newsweek. Japan's westernmost point sits less than 70 miles from Taiwan's east coast. A China-Taiwan conflict would be a serious issue for its defense planners. 2 days after Biden's statement recently, Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said in an interview that the United States' stance on Taiwan should no longer be ambiguous as China's military has grown so rapidly. he believed that Biden's remarks serve as a deterrence because, quote, Beijing certainly doesn't want to go to war with Washington. Recent surveys suggest that China would face international backlash over an invasion of Taiwan. According to Voice of America, a new global survey called the Democracy Perception Index polled over 52,000 people in 53 countries, and half of the countries surveyed agreed that an invasion of Taiwan should result in cutting off economic ties with China. These countries included many of China's major trading partners, such as the United States, Japan, South Korea, and Germany. There were strong discrepancies between the 53 countries, however. Roughly 2 in 5 trended towards a positive view of the Chinese government, while countries with Western-style democracies overwhelmingly had negative views. More than 90% of countries say free speech, election integrity, and equal rights are important for their countries. A recent poll in Japan revealed that 90% of Japanese believe that they should be militarily prepared for a CCP invasion of Taiwan. 40% believe that Japan's constitution should be revised to allow direct Japanese intervention. A poll from Nikkei Asian Review on the same issue showed 60% of respondents believe Japan should have the ability to fight in a China-Taiwan conflict, while only 4% believe that Japan does not need to prepare. That's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us, and please click like and subscribe, and have a nice weekend.